Welcome back. In this video here, we'll look at doing a sort of a list picker, a multiple choice style game or style quiz. And so what I'm going to do first is just save this project as. And so I'm going to keep this original one, okay? And we're just going to modify it because I'd like you to see and keep this answer one. So just under the projects, you can save this project as. And so you can call it copy, that's fine, or maybe number 2 or multiple choice. So I can just call it MC. Okay, so primary quiz MC. This is going to be my multiple choice one. Okay, so there it opens up, changes the name there, and we're going to make a couple little changes. So one thing that we'll do, first off, to this version, is get rid of the answer text box. Okay, and get rid of the answer button, because we're going to do it slightly different here. And in their place, we're going to use the list picker. So just grab a list picker, and we're going to bring that in. And we'll just leave it there for now. But before we go to the blocks, let's just clean this up a little bit. So instead of text for list picker, let's just put here choose answer. So that's what the user is going to have to do. And like we've done before, let's just rename this, and we'll call it answer list picker. And get rid of the one there. All right, off to the blocks we go. Now in the blocks, since we removed some of those buttons and stuff, you'll notice that the blocks just delete, okay? And that's sometimes good. I mean, obviously you want to remove those if they're no longer viable, but hides, remove some of the code that we did. So at least we've saved it from before. Now, when you're doing a list picker, there's basically two things. One is you've got to show the options, and the second thing is that you've got to, grab the thing that you've selected. So again, we'll just go to our answer list picker, and so what we do is there's a before picking, and there's a after picking. So we'll do the same. We'll bring them both out here. And of course, before picking is where they're going to show the list. So what we can do is, again, in that picker, you can set the elements, okay? So you're going to set the elements to, and basically we want to put in multiple ones. And so what do we want to set them to? Well, for this part of this lesson, we'll set it to all these possible names here, okay? So if I put it over here, I'm just going to get that global answer list. And so if you tried it right now, what you notice is that the possibilities, okay, would be these three. So there would be a Trudeau, King, and a Tupper selection option. So now the player is going to choose, and they're going to click it. And so whatever they click, that starts running this. And so what we want to do is make a comparison. All right, so we're going to get that math again and do the equal sign. Where did that go? There we go. Bring that over. Okay, so when, oh, sorry, we need an if first. We need logic first here. So if they get the answer right, okay, then they're going to do something, and else, if they get it wrong, whoops, we're going to do something else here. So the if here is going to be, we want to check what they chose. And so again, we have to go back to our list picker here. Where to go? Answer list picker. So we can grab the selection here somewhere. There it is. So we want to grab the answer list picker selection. So if that is the same as, and then basically we do what we did before, if the list item and the index. So we can just sort of copy this one there, and then just make sure that it matches the answer list. So if the answer that you selected matches the correct one in the answer based on the index, then we can just set the text to a congratulatory one. Then, whoops, we need to set text first. So set answer, correct label, sorry, there it is. Set correct label text to, well, you are correct. Okay, and then of course, we'll just copy that, and you are Incorrect. What might be nice too is you set the color of the box to red and green or something like that as well, so for a little bit more visual feedback. All right, that is it. Now you've got a multiple choice style question. Now there is a bit of a problem, and we'll talk about that next, in the fact that we've only got these 3 options coming up, and so you might want to make it so that you could choose or have different ones, and we'll talk about that right now. So in order for us to get sort of individual choices for each question, right, rather than always referring to these same 3 here, we're going to create a list of lists. And so what we'll do basically is, like I say, create a new list. So we're going to initialize a global list again, okay, and we'll call this answer choices. So let's just find that again, lists. Oh no, we're going to do variable first. So variable, initialize global name to, put that in there first, and so we'll call this one answer choices. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a list. So this, make a list. Now we've got 3 questions here, so I'm going to make sure we've got another choice. So we're going to have 3 separate possibilities, and then each of those is going to have 3 of them as well. So I'm actually going to take this list and make a list, and then I'm going to add 3 items to each one. So I'm just going to copy this and copy this. Okay, and then obviously we have to put the text in. Okay, I'm just going to pause it here, but for the first one, I'll do it with you. So maybe Trudeau. Who else might they guess? Maybe someone's very confused with life and they think Trump is Canada's Prime Minister, and then also they might be living in the past and think Harper is still the Prime Minister. Okay, and I will fill out those other ones in a second here. So now I've got the names here, right, for each one. So what we'll do next is basically have to get it to pick the right list. So at the moment it's just grabbing this list. We actually have to grab this correct list. So we have to grab the list and the sublist here, okay? And that's not too bad because it will automatically do it. So what I'm going to do is get rid of this one off the before picking. Let's just throw that out, okay? And so what we're going to get is we're going to get a list. We're going to, select list item. Where was that one? Select list item. And so choose which list. And so of course that's going to be our answer choices one. Grab that. So set. Oh no, sorry, get. No, throw that in the garbage. So set, get the answer choices. And then it will be the same thing with the index here. So we'll take that index and we'll get the global index and place it in there. All right, so that should allow you to reference this list or this list or this list based on which question you are on. And that should be it, because your after picking will still grab the selection, which is now going to be the one that you selected from the list of lists, and it should match up still with checking this list here. So whatever value is here, right, it's just a text value, it should match up with here. Now one thing, I'm just looking here, oh yeah, sorry, I was thinking about the caps, but we don't have to worry about that here because it's a multiple choice question. So now you've got a multiple choice question, okay? Now you could, it's a little hard to mix it up, so you either have to really have a quiz that has multiple choice questions or a quiz that has text answers. It's just because the interface, I guess you could switch screens or whatever to get it to do both. And that might be something you might want to look at. How could you combine the 2 types of answers there, or 2 question types, as an extension to this? I think you could do it. I just have to think about it and work at it there. All right, so we'll end this here. You've got a little quiz thing, and now you can go ahead and make it a quiz that's sort of more relevant to you, or something that you could sell to your friends so that they could practice for the next social studies or science test or whatever you want. All right, hope your app works well. See you later.